Hello, welcome to Invictus Motors. This video is about our test drive policy. To some, it might seem a bit controversial asking £100 for a test drive policy. The whole point of that test drive policy is to make sure when it's something as rare as this and as unique as this, and even some of our Porsches, i.e. you take this classic 997.1 turbo manual with a Mesca engine. I mean, you don't want somebody on a test drive over revving it or just driving it really hard and not giving it enough time for the engine to warm up, etc. So many reasons for it. But is it actually right to ask £100 for somebody to test drive something? I mean, you've got to put it in perspective that they will be test driving it for about 30 minutes or however long they like to get a feel for the vehicle. So I've got this amazing customer of mine who first came on the 8th of January, and he was actually praising our test drive policy and why it's actually a good idea asking a bit of a deposit.
Yep.
So tell us from your point of view, because that was like music to my ears.
I think it makes complete sense. It's your asset at the end of the day. You've paid for it. I will go take it out without any liability. It just doesn't work like that. At the end of the day, it's not mine. So I need to take care of it if I do take it out with you. And asking for that is, I think, weeds out a little bit of the, oh, it just came for a test drive. I need to be sure I need to buy something. If I'm sure £100 doesn't matter, I'm paying 40k plus for a car.
Yeah.
£100 actually doesn't make that much of a difference, because that experience of, yes, I know I'm going to buy it, that's why I'm test driving it, makes all the difference.
Thank you.
So
No, I appreciate it.
I think it's, yes. I wouldn't let you go into my house, take something from my sitting room, go home and then bring it up the next day.
Yeah.
I'd want something for that. It's just the same way here, I think.
Thank you.
Yes.
Honestly, hand on heart, that day when you turned up, 8th of January, and today's the 14th of January, that first day you turned up, you were so classy about it. You took your time, looked at every nook and cranny of this vehicle, bonnet opened, you had some questions for me, you looked at the service history, you looked at the paperwork, and when you were happy with the vehicle, you contacted me and said, I really appreciate everything. Let me go home, think about this to see if this is right for me before I actually commit to telling you whether I want to test drive it or not.
Definitely,
and that second phase, again, a whole load of respect to you. Some days you wish you get more customers like that. But as a matter of fact, I'm actually quite grateful that there are quite a lot of people with that very classy attitude towards purchasing vehicle. I mean, obviously, your next step was you actually then contacted me wanting to leave a deposit.
Yeah. That's, as I said, when I saw the car, I liked it. I went home, thought about it. This is for me. I can pay that money to you for a deposit. Again, I know it's a deposit going towards the car. I am looking to buy it, so it's going to come off that price anyway. So I'm not losing out anything. I don't mind paying that, and I don't think people should be worried about paying a deposit for a test drive.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Completely unbeknown to Jamil, this went to Lexus Hainault. We've proven to him, not just by the invoices, but by giving you the old filters which are in the back of the boot, but also did got the technician there to do a video of the oil being drained from this vehicle to make sure that it's actually being done and not, you driving it for another 10,000 miles, another year with the same old oil without it actually being evidenced. But yeah, again, you left a deposit. Again, no certainty. We were still going to talk about the price a little bit. You came in, you test drove it. We sat down, and I feel that I gave you, a good. I mean, it came to about £1,000 worth of, discount, because half of it went towards servicing of it, and the other half of it went towards your discount. But I feel like we were fair. I mean, wouldn't you say so? Just giving a deposit doesn't mean, even before the deposit, I think I did kind of say we're looking at a couple of hundred, then 1,000.
You did, 100%. You stuck to your word. You tried the best, and that's all I can ask for. Also, trying your best. I'm not going to wring your arm. You're not going to wring my arm. It's a transaction at the end of the day, and you did your best.
I appreciate it. So, not really insane. I guess it's not insane to ask somebody to pay £100 deposit, especially if they're not making a decision there and then, or even that day, after looking at the car, after looking at the paperwork, after it's been out because it's been freshly washed for them, using our fuel, using our time to have. And we've found this on countless of occasions, people having absolutely no intention to test drive it. No intention to buy it. And we don't have a problem with somebody actually test driving a vehicle if it's their first time, if they've not test driven it, if they haven't had a feeling for the car, or they actually haven't understood the vehicle. I mean, I tend to do as many reviews as possible, reviewing these cars, what they're like, what they're handle like, and everything about it. But you know, ultimately, there's so many resources. I think to some degree, this is the only Lexus LC500 V8. I mean, we can't afford an LFA worth £1 million.
Yep.
But you had more knowledge about this than me. I mean, essentially, like, you knew so much about this.
Yeah.
And that's because of...
Again, because I was looking to buy it, so I did my research. Again, because I did my research, I didn't mind paying that deposit, because I knew I was going to buy, unless there was something really bad about it, which I knew wouldn't. I don't mind paying that deposit, and I think people shouldn't worry about paying that money if they seriously want to buy something.
Yeah. And obviously it's refundable.
100%.
In case you weren't happy with the way the car handled, or there were mechanical issues or warning lights, completely refundable. And we even said, you know, I think you gave me more than £100.
Yeah.
But I did say it's refundable. I said, if for any reasons you're not happy about it. But I really appreciate Jamil's time for actually just being open and frank about this, because I had an instance where somebody wanted to come in, and I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 cars he wanted to test drive. And you know, ultimately, you know, he left me some really bad feedback, and you know, subsequently, you know, he wrote to me that he actually had no intention to buy any of those 2 or 3 cars, no intention, but just wanted to come in. I mean, why should it feel like, you know, someone's property is there for you to...
That's exactly. Go one of those track days. Go test drive a car if you need to there.
And all of these things can be experienced on these track days. But I really appreciate you doing this. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you guys.
It's important for us to do these videos, just because, you know, as part of the process, you know, we're not against anybody test driving a vehicle, but I think let's have an honest, frank conversation. So let me know your thoughts. I mean, if you own a dealership, or if you've been down to a dealership, what is your experience like? And I know every experience is so individual. We've had people walk in and from the back, we're like, let's test drive it straight away. Why not? Because sometimes you've got to, you know, take each scenario as is, but as general, it's good to have a policy. So I want to know what your views are. But brother, thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Look after yourself, and I better let you go.
Thank you for the car.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll take the microphone, bro.
Yeah.